In the final episode of Season 8 of The Walking Dead, Rick's group finally manages to win the all-out war with the Saviors, with this scene being their final showdown. Rick comes face to face with Negan, and we see an extremely tense scene unfold. So, let's take a look.
Just so you know, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, that was bullshit. I made a choice. I just didn't want to kill a kid's dad in front of him. Turns out, that would have been the best thing I could have done.
Both Rick and Negan are giving off the non-verbals you would expect from two people who are fighting. When we encounter a stressor, our defense mechanism becomes triggered, causing our muscles to tense up to become stronger and more resistant to damage. This activation of the reticulo-signal tract improves the responsiveness of the muscles, thus improving the chances of survival.
Had I done it, the kid might still be alive. You're beat. Your people are down. I'll get out of it. I always do. It's just you and me, Rick. And you are torn open. I am bigger. I am better. And I got a bet we can have a future. I know I will.
Just give me 10 seconds so I can tell you how.
No.
Just give me 10 seconds for Carl.
Rick now gives off the Globus response. This is when the muscle tension generated by the defense mechanism causes a strong urge to swallow, which we can see him do here. This also often occurs when someone attempts to lie, as their defense mechanism can become triggered. It's a sign of elevated stress. Also, when Rick stands up, he makes excessive eye contact, whilst also reaching out with his hand, in an attempt to put space between himself and Negan. This defense mechanism also heightens our awareness, hence the eye contact.
10, 9.
Carl said it doesn't have to be a fight anymore.
He was wrong. 8.
No. He was right.
When Rick mentions Carl, Negan does what's called a distancing behavior, looking away from Rick. This is a method of avoidance and is triggered by elevated stress. Despite being in a fight for his life, his emotional connection to Carl generates an extreme reaction that manifests in his nonverbal communication, forcing him to look away from the threat. He then begins to break down, showing increased mouth and facial tension as he thinks about Carl. And as Negan approaches, Rick does the head tilt, which is a method of sound localization, showing a heightened state of awareness, whilst also maintaining excessive levels of eye contact. However, as he realizes that Negan is beginning to back down as he's processing what Carl said, Rick distances, showing that he himself is experiencing emotional stress. This is also paired with rapid blinking. Both of them are extremely emotionally stressed here, and I think that had Rick not attacked, they would have stopped fighting. However, Rick decided not to risk it, showing that he's able to put his feelings aside and do what's necessary, something that Shane accused him of not being able to do all those seasons ago.
Look what you did. Carl didn't know a damn thing.
As Rick remembers Carl and his hope for a better future, Rick begins to break down, expressing rapid head movement. He then distances up to the sky before giving off various types of muscle tension. He has no idea what to do and is on the receiving end of immense emotional stress, and we see his body try and vent that stress. It's absolutely amazing acting from Andrew Lincoln. Something that amazes me about this scene is its parallels with season 4, when Rick fought the governor. He gave his famous "we can all live together" speech, and the governor very nearly gave in. However, in the last moment decided against it and then kills Herschel. Rick has been in this exact situation before, and he knew he couldn't take a chance, which is why he decides to attack Negan, despite him backing down. However, Rick does agree with Carl's vision for the future, and asks Sadiq to save Negan, much to the displeasure of Maggie. This is one of the greatest scenes in Walking Dead history, and I will be reacting to the later part of this scene in a future video, as I think it deserves its own video. Those of you who have followed The Walking Dead right up until this point know just how emotional this sequence is, and the emotions are captured perfectly by Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Andrew Lincoln. It's a really good scene.